Alright, everyone's out. Hello you, and welcome to some Kind of Fox content, and welcome back to First Snow, where we are gonna take a bite out of Act 2. This episode is probably gonna be a little bit longer than the rest of the First Snow episodes I've done so far, and that is simply to catch up with the story, because we need to finish it before December 24th. So without further ado, hello you, and welcome to First Snow. Caprice and I step out onto the busy sidewalk per Eileen's order, the chatty girl leaning through the passenger door as Eileen tries to get the car going again. Giving a long stretch to help my stiff back, I do my best to keep out of the way. After news of Eileen's owning a car leaked out, Caprice's mind immediately set about organizing the Odd Club's first outing. Inspiration for our art, she called it, but it was obviously an excuse to hang out. You know, with the Caprice and the such. With things having gone this awry, I feel a little bad for going along with the idea, despite Eileen's reluctance. The investigation apparently coming to nothing, Caprice rights herself as the car falls silent. Eileen closes the door behind her with some force before plodding around to us, frustration written all over her face. Looks like the engine won't idle at all. Serves me right for buying second hand. No, why it's not working?
No.
No idea. She looks a little sheepish for not having the answer on hand, but I can't say I blame her. As the two of us mull over our options, we become distracted by Caprice and her wide grin. She has a plan cooked up already for better or worse.
Caprice?
What are you smiling about now? Oh, I got this. Just stay right here. I gotta make a call.
Catch you later.
Eileen and I grimace at each other in unison, but Caprice bounces off down the street before either of us can object. Getting the phone from her pocket as she walks, she filts between the people around her with unbothered by the eyes on the sidewalk. The background hum of people chatting and cars passing by takes over once again as we find ourselves at loose ends. Wow, I just woke up so I can't read. Not like we could go anywhere else anyway. You're not going to try and stop her? Think she'd listen to me if I tried? That's a fair point. Both of them are rather stubborn, so I suppose it's inevitable they'd clash sometimes. On the bright side, all of the places to break down here isn't so bad. The weather's not too chilly, and it's nice to observe all the many people we see here sometimes, especially when they're bundled up in cute winter outfits. Yes, I especially love this one on the right here. This cute little winter outfit, you see? Yes. Some city workers in the distance are already beginning to set up the downtown Christmas tree. Yeah, looks lovely. Providing some entertainment for the people walking by as they struggle with the unwieldy thing. Things will change as last-minute Christmas shoppers and sale hunters start rushing around, but right now, it's a pleasant atmosphere. Turning back to Eileen, she doesn't seem as content to patiently pass the time people watching as I am. I'm going to grab a coffee. Do you want one? I'm fine. Probably having a bit too much of it lately. There's no such thing as too much. I agree with Eileen here. You can never have too much coffee. As I shake my head at her offer, Eileen simply shrugs and begins strolling down the road in the opposite direction to Caprice. Rather than dance around the crowd, people make way for Eileen as she moves, her gaze fixed and noticeably taller than most. With little to do now but watch the car, I huff into my gloved hands a couple of times to try and warm them, At least the aquarium should be warmer if we ever manage to finish the trip there. Just as I'm about to settle in and watch the passing crowds, the phone in my pocket begins to vibrate and ring. Not sure it could. Wow. Okay. Hang on. Taking a sip and then I'll be with you. Hang on. Not sure who it could be. I quickly grab for it. Dad? Without a second thought, I swiped my finger on the screen to pick up the call. Then why did you yell out Dad before you picked up the call?
Hi.
Dad, hi. Hi, sweetie. It's good to hear your voice again. How are things? The sound of the crowds fade away as I listen to him, a comfortable warmth coming over me as I feel insulated from their gazes and focused on the conversation. Things are good, I guess. I love her little, cat thing she got on her phone. Haven't caught you at a bad time, have I? I could call back later. No. Just out with friends. He gives his usual weird laugh, sounding more like air moving through closed teeth than a normal full-bellied chuckle. It never fails to make me smile all the same, though. What's that about? Just a relief to hear that. We've all been worried about you finding new friends after such a big change. What with changing schools and moving out and whatnot. Thinking to the people I've met in school, I guess I really have. Caprice pulled me into her orbit. Wallace seems nice and caring for all his intimidating size. And then there's Eileen. They might be a bit odd, but they're all caring in their own way. There's nothing wrong with being odd, especially not here on this channel. It's funny how art seems to have drawn us all together, each in a different way. Before I respond, I vaguely hear my mother's voice in the background. Tell her to put on warm clothes. Your mother said to ask if things are going okay at home. Everything's good. Rose has been a big help with everything. That's vastly understating things. If it weren't for her, I don't know how I would have coped. Not just for the constant homeworks and errands, but also for being away from everyone and everything I knew before. I might still have my ups and downs, but the last thing I want to do is stress them out over me. That's good to hear. Hopefully it'll take a bit of stress off a certain someone. Tell Rose hello for us, if you remember that.
Sure thing.
Can do. How's everyone there? Your brothers are a pain in the ass like always, for one. Right on cue, one of them loudly complains in the background. As you can tell. How's Lucy? Same as always, she's sleeping in the other room. That's probably the cat. I hear my mother's voice once again in the background. Tell her to put on warm clothes! Right, she knocked a mug off the counter the other day. Yeah, that's a cat. Your mom gave her a good scolding. I think she's acting out without you around. I can't help but laugh imagining. My mom exasperated with my cat. See? Told you, it's a cat. Anyway, we're getting by. It ain't the same without you, though. In a whispered voice, he continues. It's hard to get a moment's peace around here. Make sure to give your mother a call sometime, okay? She won't leave me alone. Fuck, I can't have her moments of peace. I'll call her, don't worry. Atta girl. Anything worrying you? On your mind? Something? No, things are good. I realize my mistake the moment I answer, having spoken just a little too quickly to make it seem natural. My mind starts to replay embarrassing situations I've been in, the constant concerns and worries of living alone, the loneliness. Dad's calming voice cuts through, interrupting my spiraling thoughts. I'd better let you get back to your friends. I hope I'm not keeping you away. It's fine. I'm just happy to hear you again. We miss you too. Christmas around here will be a lot warmer once you're back for the holidays. We're going to miss you at Nana's this year. I really can't wait to see all of you again. I'll be looking forward to it. I love you, Allison.
Take care.
I love you too. Bye. A few seconds pass before a familiar beeping of the ended call tone rings in my ear. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. Putting away the phone, I feel like I should be happy to have spoken to my family again. That couldn't be any further from what I feel, though. The horrible lump in my throat only gets worse as I stare down gloomily at the dirty snow on the sidewalk. My heart hurts. Aw. The taste of my mother's food, my old bedroom, all the friends I left behind when I went to this college, my cat, they all come flooding back. It's just homesickness. I've dealt with this before and more than once. The fact it'll pass doesn't help right now, though. Noticing Eileen through the crowd, coffee cup in hand, as she sips away, I take a long breath and try to steady myself. I don't want to look weird in front of her, getting all sulky in the middle of the street here. That was quick. Hey, the cavalry's here too. She jerks her head towards the top of the street in answer to my confusion. Caprice frantically waves to flag someone down, their little car sliding into a parking spot not far from where Eileen's ended up. It looks well cared for despite its age. All Eileen and I can do is stare as the driver opens the door and steps out. I'm more than a little surprised when I recognize her as being another student from college. She looks to be about our age despite her ladylike appearance, her tall figure dressed in a smart trench coat and scarf. It's quite a fashionable look and hardly who I expected to arrive. As Caprice excitedly chats to her, I feel myself shrinking behind Eileen a little out of shyness. She looks much more apathetic about the whole affair, simply taking a long sip of her coffee. Getting on Eileen's good side made me forget how unsociable she could be.
Ta-da! Found a mechanic right nearby.
I feel a little sheepish for assuming the worst of her little mission. Caprice seems to be very friendly with the woman, but it's hard to read much into that given Caprice's personality.
Hi, I'm Millie. The two of us are roommates.
Oh, it's the roommate.
Mechanic might be stretching things a bit far, but I should be able to help.
And now, Millie, it's time for you to meet my art club. Introducing Eileen and Allison.
All I can do is give a weak smile as Eileen snorts in weary disapproval. Like it or not, looks like we're part of this misadventure for good.
I could have sworn there was already an art club.
That one is garbage. Mine is the cool art club.
So that's what you've been so happy about lately. Shame on me for thinking you were ever jealous of my position in the writing club.
Is that what this is all about? Caprice wanted to be on level with her friend. I guess it worked out well for us anyway.
So you're in charge of the writing club? The current leader's graduating at the end of this semester, so he's handing the reins to me. See?
And the rest of the
Oops,
club
sorry,
doesn't
I
get a
clicked.
say?
That's how it works. I like to call it a stable line of succession. Speaking of which, I need to get back to the writing I was doing before I got that phone call. Your car had issues?
Yeah, engine died without any warning, managed to coast it to the side of the road. Eileen doesn't seem exactly taken with the situation. Millie's explanation of her being a writer not explaining her ability to fix a car. We don't have much option but to put our faith in her at this point. I'm guessing Caprice gave you the briefing. Need me around to start the thing? Oh, let me, take me, pick me. Eileen narrows her eyes. but eventually sighs and chucks her keys at the girl. Caprice's momentary hesitation shows she's expected that to work no more than I did.
Okay, fine.
Just don't go for a drive or something. I assure you, you haven't seen me actually angry yet. The seriousness of her tone seems to penetrate a little. Of course, Caprice being Caprice, it doesn't take long for her to bounce back. Oh, now then, let's fix this thing.
Let's see what I can do.
Right. Let's have a look. She gives us a confident smile before popping the hood, Caprice taking on the job of her assistant. To Millie's credit, she looks like a natural as she quickly moves this and that around about to peer inside. Well, if you don't need us, we'll just go for a short walk, alright?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Wait. What do you mean, we? The meaning of we becomes clear as Eileen puts a hand around my shoulder to direct me, the two of us walking off beside each other and leaving the two to their work. It feels a little weird to have Eileen's arm around my back and holding my shoulder as we walk side by side. Even if it is to guide me, she takes a long while to let go. You're sure you're alright leaving them alone? Not at all. Not like I can do anything to actually help, though. All I can do is awkwardly laugh it off. I don't have the first clue on even day-to-day maintenance for a car after all, so maybe just staying out of the supposed mechanics way might be for the best. At least it broke the ice a bit, as I still feel a little unsure when I'm alone with her. I can never seem to get a read on Eileen. Every time we walk, I end up getting caught in her pace. Even now, I'm not sure why she pulled me away to walk with her. No, that's not quite true. She must have noticed me being depressed earlier, even if she isn't saying anything about it. Given how she also invited me over for dinner when I was hungry, it seems she really does care for me despite her stoic exterior. As she drops her empty coffee cup into a bin as we pass, hi, puberty. I realize it's going to be up to me to raise the subject. So you saw me earlier, huh? You did look a bit bummed when you got off the phone. Didn't want to bring it up if you didn't, though. She left me no choice.
Sorry.
It's just, I miss talking to my family after so long. Sorry for being so flustered. Nothing to be sorry for, it's only natural.
Huh?
So, you're homesick, huh? Sometimes. Moving out for the first time's a big deal. You don't need to beat yourself up over feeling stressed.
Thank you.
Thanks. I thought I was doing okay, but when I heard my dad's voice again, it reminded you of what you're away from. I give a simple nod. She doesn't seem to be speaking in an overly soft or caring tone, but she is listening carefully. I appreciate it, really. She doesn't come off as patronizing. I can't imagine living alone. I have no idea how to do it. She gives an absent-minded shrug. I'm not really fussed about that sort of thing. Besides, Wallace drops by sometimes, and you're welcome as well. It's good that you have a roommate you get along with, though. That'll help. I get the feeling Eileen's circling around what she actually wants to say. As she looks to me, I think she realizes that the game is up, the two of us stopping as she turns in front of me.
Allison.
We're all freshmen here. You, me, Caprice. We're all away from our families and trying to find our niche. If you want to talk or vent, we're around. Wallace told me you talk, so you have that big oath as well. That's it, I guess. I might have thought I didn't want to worry her, but her reassurance are more comforting than I'd guessed they'd be. Even as I manage to gather myself, I can't help but smile. I know it's a little bit selfish, but it's sort of nice to have someone worried over me. To my surprise, she brings her hand to my head and starts ruffling my hair. It's hard to read her expression as she does so, but I don't feel put off at all. Quite the opposite. She pauses for a moment, face stuck, hopefully not in my hair. Sorry if you don't. Oh, it's fine. Ruffle me. I only just managed to splutter the words out, my dumb smile better at getting the message across. Taking the cue, she begins petting my head once more. I forgot how much I miss simple physical interactions, as awkward as she might be about it. A hug might be a bit more normal, but somehow it's hard to imagine Eileen doing that. It's not a secret, I'm not great at this kind of thing. Just keep what I said in mind, alright? I will. Everyone's here to help me. I'll remember that. Removing her hand, Eileen and I start heading back towards the car side by side. It's easy for someone who's outgoing to comfort another, but it feels somehow more sincere from a loner like Eileen. She's making an extra effort for my sake. Somehow, I feel a little warmer than I did before as we walk back. Maybe the weather's improved, but I doubt that's it. I guess you had experience living alone, haven't you?
Huh?
Me, just moved out of for college, same as you. So we're just in the same situation, yet Eileen has everything so together that she can offer me help like this? Moreover, she's known so this entire time. I just sigh in defeat. College has really driven home how everyone's different. Sure has. The reason for the dreariness in her voice becomes apparent as I follow her gaze. Caprice happily bouncing out of the car and shutting the door as we stroll up. Everyone sure is different.
Hey!
Hey guys! The impromptu mechanic appears finished as well, righting herself and closing the hood after poking around inside. She absent-mindedly wipes the sweat off her forehead, leaving some grease on her face before realizing her error. Ha! Whoops! Well, it is fixed for now. Looks like the fuse went. Nothing major. I've done what I can out here, but it needs a proper fix back at a shop. This'll get you going, though. Eileen's impressed look is shared by me. Being so handy is a good trait to have, and she did come all the way here just to help us. I'm impressed. Fixed cars before. I was about to recommend taking it to my dad's auto shop, actually.
Sure.
Your dad's shop is as good as any other. I'll sort something out this afternoon. This is where I'd shake your hand in thanks, but, you know, freaking dirty. Millie gives a self-deprecating smile in response. Caprice passes her a handkerchief from her pocket, that's a little late now, which Millie quickly used to wipe her hands as best she can. Hey, since you're already here, want to join an art club? I'll let you all get on with your art club adventure. I have other things I need to do. Sorry.
Have fun.
With that, we give our farewells to Millie as she heads back towards her car. Her momentary churlish grin towards the deflated Caprice doesn't go unnoticed. Eileen snatches her keys back from the girl's hand, wasting no time in addressing the both of us. Now, are we finally going to the aquarium or not? I'm dying to see the fish.
Yeah!
She beams brightly, her smile proving infectious. Turning to me, Eileen's emerald eyes stare into my own, checking my reaction after the day's events. As rough as she might be, Eileen really does care about others.
Eileen.
Let's go, Eileen. With this, she gives off one of those few smiles she dares give. It feels like a reward to see them, and I find myself wanting to see them more and more. I briefly wonder who's in the art room as I proceed along the second floor hallway. Well, less wonder and more hope. Caprice will be there, I've little doubt of that, but I'm starting to enjoy being around Eileen. Her paintings are so nice to see, and anytime I manage to make her warm to me, feels somehow rewarding. Someone like Caprice smiles all the time, and the moment we sat beside each other in a biology lecture, my fate was sealed as she began chatting to me without prompting. While I don't mind that at all, finding her bubbly attitude uplifting, if a little overbearing, there's little about her that she keeps to herself. When Eileen gives praise, or even just smiles, it feels genuinely earned. I think that's the difference. Upon reaching the door and opening it, the otherwise empty room is filled with the greetings of a certain loud girl. Sitting at a table with a sketchbook in front of her, she takes a brief break from her work.
Hi!
Good afternoon, Alison.
Hey.
Hi, you look cheerful as usual. I'm super ready for today's art club meeting. She pumps her fist as I walk in, earning a sincere if weary smile. I feel a little bad for my first reaction upon entering being disappointment, giving her earnest sense of friendship with me. Shrugging it off, I pile my books onto another table and take a couple of pencils from the side of the table, which Caprice has commandeered. But that's good. A glance at the sketchbook Caprice has been sketching in makes me stop in my tracks. I have to look up at her and back down again just to confirm that this was done by the same person. Her casual doodles were cute, but she has a real talent for this stuff now that I see her more serious work. I never really questioned how much Caprice has practiced her art now that I think of it. I'm left a little chastened for underestimating how much effort she puts into this hobby. Motivated to try a bit harder myself, I take a seat and open one of my notebooks. Flipping through to a mostly empty page, I ponder for a moment before setting about sketching a cat. They were always a favorite subject to doodle. That's a cute little drawing. I lose track of time as I start to get into it, trying to replicate Caprice's shading from memory. It's only when Caprice pipes up with another greeting that I take a break. Eileen slides through the doorway as I look up, giving a quick, perfunctory wave to the both of us. She looks barely awake, but given how tired she always looks, it's hard to say if that's any worse than usual. As we exchange greetings and Caprice gets back to her sketching, Eileen's eyes fall on my notebook. Without breaking stride, she turns on the ball of her high boots to take a detour from her easel and peer at my work. Uh-oh. Eileen's figure looms above as she stands in front of me, fingers pressed to the top of my sketchbook as she looks down. It conjures up feelings I haven't felt since middle school, as if a student shrinking before her teacher. Haven't done this in a while, have you?
Sorry.
Why are you apologizing? If you haven't, you haven't. You have the fundamentals right, at least, which only comes with practice. Her fingertips... Wow, Jesus. Her fingertip skates back and forth on the paper, painting out this and that. pointing out this and that. God damn it, I'm taking a break. Hang on. I can't even say break. I'll be right back. Okay, let's try this again. Musculature looks off, but that's a pain at the best of times for animals. Try to draw from references instead of relying on what your mind thinks something should look like. A weight feels as if it's been lifted from my shoulders. It's not exactly high praise, but the fact she's willing to give me pointers feels like validation. You like cats? I have one back home. Explains it. More of a dog person myself, really. Yeah, me too. Ever had one? Would have been nice, but my parents weren't interested in the idea. Sounds like you and your parents don't get along very well.
No.
We don't. The pet thing's nothing to do with it. They wanted me to go into one of their approved careers, and I didn't. Oh, I thought it would be something more complicated. Sometimes things really are as simple as they seem. I'm sure things will work out eventually. That's nice. I open my mouth to respond, but the tone behind her words makes it clear that she considers this discussion over. The air goes cold between us, leaving me at a loss for words as my shoulders slump in defeat. All I meant to do was cheer her up. As she steps over to another table and pulls off her coat, Caprice gleefully fills the awful silence with her bubbly voice.
Allie!
Hey, have you tried doing other stuff as well?
Huh?
What do you mean? You know, other kinds of art. There's oil, watercolor, pottery, fletching. I both paint and do sketch work, so it's not like you need to keep to one thing or another. I can get some pottery stuff if you want. Or make like little clay decorations. That'll be cute. Eileen barely restrains herself from rolling her eyes. By harassing the poor professor into giving you some kiln, time, and clay.
No!
It's not harassment, it's negotiating. I think I'll be fine for now. I can barely get this sketching together, it seems. Eileen gives one final piece of advice as she turns towards the cupboard, taking advantage of the lull from Caprice, focusing her own work. Don't worry about her, just keep at it. Practice might not make perfect, but it'll get you close. I'm sure Eileen means well with her efforts as at teaching, but it's a vast change to the way I used to draw as a kid and in high school, being little more than the occasional scribble when an idea struck. Barely having time to... God, you're making such a ruckus. Barely having time to put pencil to paper, a clatter at the front of the room draws the attention of both Caprice and I. As Eileen fiddles, we diddle. Both of us get up to see what's happening. What's up? Standing at the... I can't read when you make such a ruckus. Shut up. Standing at the old wooden cabinet at the front of the room, Eileen gives a couple more sharp thugs at the door with all her usual gentleness before turning to Caprice. Should I kick you out of the cupboard? You decide. The door to the cabinet's locked. Nah, they never lock it after class. She bounces over to Eileen and takes the handle in her grip, giving it several pulls at various creative angles in case it's jammed. After one last try, hard enough to have her feet slipping on the floor. Could you say that again? I didn't quite catch what you said. As they face off, I take a look at the cabinet between them. It's a type of lock I've tried before and not particularly high-end. Then again, I've never done this with two people peering over my shoulder. Is she gonna lockpick it? Why do we have that skill? I used to be a thief. Step aside, ladies. As they both look to me, I realize there isn't any backing down now. Glancing out the door to make sure there isn't anyone listening in, I continue on. I could maybe try picking it?
What?
You can do that?
Seriously?
Someone sure has a knack for skills that upstanding people shouldn't have. Sorry. All I can do in response is wilt. Eileen's not exactly wrong, even if I do like to think I only use such things when I should. Well, we don't really have much of an option. Think you can do it? Accepting my fate, I get up and hold my hand towards them. I'll need a couple of paper clips. Taking to my feet once more, Eileen and Caprice looks more dubious than impressed. Well, did you get it? Little more confident than Caprice, her face having been plastered right beside the lock, out of curiosity as I worked. I take a long breath and reach out to the handle, giving it a timid tug. Not thug. The relief in the room is palpable as the old door creaks open, revealing shelf upon shelf of supplies. Awesome! Caprice gives a tight hug from behind in appreciation and excitement, leaving me to awkwardly laugh off the praise as Eileen starts taking her paint and brushes. As she rights herself and Caprice detaches herself from me, Eileen gives a couple of claps on the shoulder with her free hand. You did good. Where, or maybe I should say why, did you pick up skills like that? I just like learning things. Taking an interest in the conversation, Caprice leans back towards us. What kind of things? Other cool stuff like that? Just things. Schoolwork wasn't too hard, so instead of studying, I ended up teaching myself stuff like how to pick locks and tinker with different machines, except for cars, to keep myself occupied. Are you aware of how sketchy that sounds?
Oh!
It's not about doing bad things. They're just puzzles. The point is working them out, not getting free stuff. When I put it that way, I guess it's pretty useless to learn. That's pretty funny to be saying right now. Caprice nudges Eileen, who just raises an eyebrow. She makes a decent point. Hoping that no staff were around to notice what just happened, I throw the twisted paper clips into the bin before heading to my table as Caprice takes to hers and Eileen sits herself at her easel. Without further ado, we each set to work. It's a nice atmosphere with the three of us working away at our own little projects. I'm not sure sketching cats in a notebook really counts as much of a project, but having friends around makes it somehow more meaningful. With winter setting in, I find myself settled in for the evening on the couch watching a movie on the television, a blanket draped over me to try and keep me warm. Rose still isn't back from work, and with the garbage taken out and washing up done, it probably wouldn't hurt to take things easy for the rest of this evening. A loud ping comes from beside me, my hand automatically reaching for the phone sitting on the couch in response. Probably Rose saying she'll be late, dooming me to microwave noodles for dinner again. Or perhaps not. I don't recognize the number or user avatar at all. I briefly consider saying no, but that would be mean. I can barely make out their picture, beyond what I think to be yellow hair. I don't even know any blondes besides Eileen and Millie, and the latter unlikely to be messaging me. I can't help but giggle a little. I'm happy she's making the effort when she made it clear she wasn't interested before. Aw.
Uh-huh.
I see. Taken completely unawares, I leap off the couch and spin around, barely keeping a hold of the phone in my hand.
Oh!
When did you get in? Just now. Sorry, couldn't help myself. I let out a long breath to steady myself as my heart slowly returns to its normal pace. Rose just grins churlishly as she walks off to hang up her coat. With that, I tap the side button to lock the phone once more, putting it on the counter beside me. You look happy. All I can do is grimace, my face becoming flushed from embarrassment at her bullying. Thanks to my cheeks mildly hurting, I can tell she isn't wrong. I mean it. Does me good to see you managing to get yourself a social circle and all. You were worried? Yep. Can you blame me? No guys around, no friends, always being so serious, not smoking. You've changed a lot. I guess Eileen was right. Everyone really is there for me. Rose isn't wrong either. I do have friends now, and the art club's starting to become a welcome little slice of familiarity in the campus. Caprice, Wallace, Eileen, everyone's really nice to me. Yet it's Eileen I can't stop thinking about. Behind that cold exterior of hers, there's a genuinely kind person. What's with that face? Nothing. Gonna come eat or play with your phone all day. With the sun beginning to set, Eileen and I say our goodbyes to Caprice before heading out into the hallway. Calming Caprice down after she gets a bright idea feels like trying to stifle a shaken soda can after opening it. She might still be brimming with energy, but the two of us leave the art club's room utterly deflated. We should have just joined the normal art club. You know, the one which isn't led by a maniac. I wish I could get the two of them to see eye to eye more often. Caprice did say she's doing all of this for Eileen's sake as much as her own, and she's far too straightforward to be lying about that. It's difficult to push back on Eileen though, given how prideful a person she is. I seem to attract strong-willed friends. She is a lot. She means well though. Well, maybe it's not so bad if you are around to keep her occupied. For what it's worth, I was actually thinking this might be a fun little adventure. I wanted to thank you for making all of this work out. She makes an exquisitely awkward face, caught between my thanking her and the idea of having to share her room with us, and anyone else Caprice managed to rope in from now on. I just smile as we start down the quiet hallway, Eileen taking a look out the window. Her gaze lingers for just that little longer than usual, the snow once again having started falling outside. I can't blame her, given how pretty it looks. Damn, going to be shoveling snow again. What a pain. She really isn't the sentimental type. Did I say something wrong? I was just thinking, you don't seem to have a very romantic view of the world, being an artist. Is there much good about winter? Being back with family, all the pretty snow around, people in cute jackets and coats, holidays, you. I end up trailing off, Eileen hardly looking swayed as I count my favorite things about the season on my fingers. Holidays are the problem. Everywhere starting to close up or shut down for the new year already. I want to keep practicing instead of loafing around, but the live drawing classes are over and all the students' modeling offers have dried up. I read that completely wrong. I've seen notices for those on the notice boards around campus, with students and others making a little cash on the side by modeling for artists. Those same notice boards have become much more bare over the last month. I feel sorry for her, given she takes her painting so seriously. I was so caught up in wanting to be back with my family that I didn't think about how it would be for her, especially when she doesn't get along with hers. As we walk along the hallway, I realize this might present an opportunity, a chance for me to help Eileen and be part of her painting, instead of simply watching her from afar. I'm not completely sure about this, but my obvious scheming has already caught Eileen's eye. If it'd be helpful, I mean, maybe I could do it? At this, Eileen stops and turns to me. Should I not have suggested this? You just need me to stand around and be a model, right? There's not a lot to it. This would be live modeling, you know. I don't want to give you the wrong idea. The reminder does make me hesitate. I know there's nothing sexual about it, but I'd be standing without clothes on, and as she alone looked at me, analyzing my whole body. Eileen herself doesn't look fussed, though she rarely does. She seems content to let me come to a conclusion myself as she stands about, but my body language soon gives away what I'm thinking. Sorry if I made you uncomfortable. I can just work on other studies instead. No, I mean... She did mention herself that she's done this before. It'll simply be another method of practicing painting for her. Would it be in your apartment or something?
Yeah?
She looks mildly surprised. I'm still considering this. If it was anyone else, I don't think I could do this. For Eileen, though.
Okay.
It's fine. I'll do it. Oh, we got a little body teddy. We set down our coats as we enter her apartment, the bright light giving such a different look to her living room compared to mine. As for Eileen herself, I don't get how she isn't exhausted after a walk like that from school. But try as I might to distract myself, something feels off no matter how I try to ignore it. Painting live models is probably totally normal for an artist like Eileen, so I don't bother saying anything as she sets down her coat. Want a drink or something? I'm fine, thanks.
Sure.
Suit yourself. I'll grab my stuff, just make yourself comfortable. She walks off to get her easel and paint as I nod. Without much else to do as she disappears into another room, I idly look around while taking off my own coat and gloves. Her apartment hasn't been cleaned up this time, which is an interesting change. Beyond the easel, with a finished painting still sitting on it, a few colorful fashion magazines lie on the coffee table, near a mug left sitting around. On the couch, a couple of crumpled t-shirts and an old pair of jeans lie strewn over the back and arm. What catches my eye most, however, is the resident who looks very comfortable on the other end of it. Yeah, the bunny one. Without thinking, I walk over and pick him up. Oh god, Eileen's gonna kill you. A particularly large stuffed rabbit, big enough to need two hands to hold comfortably. Though well made and adorably designed, it's obviously a little well loved by now. I'm sure I'd have noticed such a thing if I were around. If it were around when Wallace and I came for dinner, so it must have been stuffed into her bedroom or something. Noticing movement out of the corner of my eye, I turn and look up. Eileen simply stares at me, face flat, as she holds a bag of supplies in her hand. I really shouldn't have just gone and started fiddling with her stuff. No, you shouldn't.
Sorry.
It's really cute. She puts her bag down and sighs, giving me a bit of relief that she isn't angry. Silently, she strides over and takes the toy from me as I offer it to her. My sister gave it to me to keep me company when I moved out. Oh, that's sweet. I'm disappointed by how little emotions in Eileen's voice when she says so, but those thoughts quickly disappear as she gently sets down the rabbit where it had been. She takes care to set it down gently with a quick brush of its fur. So she does. She has a lot of feelings for her family, at least her sister. That momentary smile as she steps back and looks at it warms my heart. It only lasts for a second, but her face is unmistakably that of a child, one taking care of their favorite companion. So Eileen does have a cute side to her. Yeah, that's what I meant. I somehow feel a bit less wound up about everything now. She's not that different to me in the end. As she turns away, I remember the task at hand. So... I'll just set up the easel and canvas, then I'll have everything ready.
Should I take my clothes off, then?
She's about to answer before pausing for a moment. Much as I might try to stifle my awkwardness, undressing in front of someone else is still weird.
If it's a problem, you can grab a towel. I can make do.
Feeling more than a little sheepish, I glance around to be more sure of my surroundings. The blinds are shut as they were before, and the door's still locked, so I'm not sure what I expected. Maybe the silence is putting me off, the apartment being set so far back on the road, unlike mine. I want to say that I'm fine, but I can't quite get over the stumbling block of being bared in front of someone. Meeting halfway will have to do for now. And speaking of having to do for now, I think this is a pretty good place to end the episode. That's a bit of a cliffhanger. Okay, so Eileen and Allison here are starting to warm up a little bit to each other, and Caprice is being her usual bubbly self. We didn't see Wallace, but we met Millie, and we also talked a little more to Rose. So the story is progressing as it should. And I'm looking forward to the next one. But for now, thank you so much for watching, and until that next time, bye!